राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat pranams. Thank you all very much for joining in for our Srimad Bhagavatam study session. So today we will have one of our devotees, Nisha Mataji is already there. Hari Bol. So Nisha Mataji will be chanting 1.1.1 by heart along with the translation. So that will be the first memorized version of Srimad Bhagavatam. Every session, Mondays, we will have the previous week's verse will be recited by one person, and then we will go on to the verse of the week. Today's verse will be 1.12. Okay. So let us quickly start with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shriyuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nithi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauradushe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Taralaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langayate girim Yatkrapatamaham vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tatsat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtake Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, thank you very much for joining in for our Srimad Bhagavatam session. We've completed the dedication of Srimad Bhagavatam. The Prabhupada is dedicating it to his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then we also completed the study of the preface, right? And now we are in the introduction section of Srimad Bhagavatam. So let's quickly go into the introduction section. Let's quickly run through what we've already read, and then we will continue with our Srimad Bhagavatam. So we were seeing about how Srila Prabhupada has actually started off with the life and the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So we saw a couple of childhood pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how his baby Nimai, he used to cry, and all the neighbors used to come and rush and give a lot of things. Somebody gives something to eat, something to play, some toys, etc. But Nimai never used to stop crying. But then suddenly someone used to start chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And when baby Nimai heard the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mantra, immediately he will stop crying. And we also saw why he got the name of Nimai, because he was born under the neem tree, Nimba tree, the courtyard of his paternal home, like that. And we saw some more pastimes how when Nimai was very small, when they did the Annaprashana ceremony, they kept coins on one side and books on the other side. And books in the sense Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. Prema Pumarto Mahan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatra Dara Napara. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, in my opinion, anybody who studies Srimad Bhagavatam will attain Prema Pumarto Mahan. He will attain the Krishna Prema. So, of course, even as a baby Nimai, he did not take the coins, he went instead for the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then we also saw how, like Mother Shachi had dressed Lord Sri Krishna very nicely. With a lot of ornaments, and two thieves came and took Nimai to a secret place. From there they thought that they will take all the ornaments and leave the boy there and go. But then what happened? Lord Nimai actually cheated the thieves. In this way, they brought him back to the courtyard of Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata, and Jagannath and Nimai told our Jagannath Mishra that these two people only brought me home, Baba. And then Jagannath Mishra got so much filled with the gratitude that these two thieves thought that, oh my God, this boy is going and telling his father everything. So they're going to come behind me and whack us. So that way they were scared. And when Jagannath Mishra started running behind them, please accept some gift. You brought our son back. Like that. Then these thieves were thinking, oh my God, this boy has told him everything. Now his father is running behind us to catch us. So in this way, Jagannath Mishra was running behind them and the thieves were running ahead. So these were the very lovely pastimes of baby Nimai that we read in the previous session. So now let's continue with the pastimes of baby Nimai as part of the study of the introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam. By His divine grace, Abhicharanaravind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Also, tomorrow is the most auspicious occasion of Tirubhav Tithi of His divine grace, Abhicharanaravind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So we can prepare our consciousness to chant more rounds, to read more of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If possible, go to the temple, ISKCON temple, take part in the festivities in the ISKCON temple on the auspicious occasion of Prabhupada's Tirubhav Tithi, right? There are certain days which are very, very, very important. And Prabhupada has instituted in such a way that all the days are festival days, right? Yesterday we had Vasudev Ghosh, Tirubhav Tithi, and something or the other. And every day chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra in itself is a festival, right? So in this way we can, especially on tomorrow being the most auspicious Srila Prabhupada's Tirubhav Tithi, let us visit ISKCON temple or chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra more, engage in more devotional service. And we are dedicating our today's Srimad Bhagavatam study for the exclusive pleasure of His divine grace, Abhicharanaravind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All right, so let me share my screen. We will continue with the pastimes of baby Nimai. Okay. So, anyone wants to read? Okay, Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji, go ahead. Devotees can raise your hands. Yes, go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Yes.
Once a pilgrim Brahmana was received at the house of the Jagannath Mishra, and when he was offering food to the Godhead, the Lord appeared before him and partook of the prepared food. The eatables had to be rejected because the child touched them. And so the Brahmana had to make another preparation. The next time, the same thing happened. And when this happened repeatedly for the third time, the baby was finally put to bed. At about 12 at night, when all the members of the house were fast asleep within their closed room, the pilgrim Brahmana offered specially prepared foods to the deity. And in the same way, the baby Lord appeared before the pilgrim and spoiled his offering. The Brahmana then began to cry. But since everyone was fast asleep, no one could hear him. At that time, the baby Lord appeared before the fortunate Brahmana and disclosed his identity as Krishna himself. The Brahmana was forbidden to disclose this incident, and the baby returned to the lap of his mother. There are many similar incidents in his childhood. As a naughty boy, he sometimes used to tease the Orthodox Brahmana who used to bathe in the Ganges. When the Brahmanas complained to his father that he was splashing them with water instead of attending school, the Lord suddenly appeared before his father as though just coming from school with all his school clothes and books. At the bathing ghat, he also used to play jokes on the neighboring girls who engaged in worshipping Shiva in the hopes of getting good husbands. This is a common practice amongst unmarried girls in Hindu families. While they were engaged in such a worship, the Lord naughtily appeared before them and said, "My dear sisters, please give me all the offerings you have just brought for Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is my devotee and Parvati is my maidservant. If you worship me, then Lord Shiva and all the other demigods will be more satisfied." Some of them refused to obey the naughty Lord, and he would curse them that due to their refusal, they would be married to an old man who had 7 children by their previous wives. Out of fear and sometimes out of love, the girls would also offer him various foods. And then the Lord would bless them and assure them that they would have very good young husbands and that they would be the mothers of dozens of children. The blessings would enliven the girls, but they used often to complain of these incidents to their mothers. In this way, the Lord passed his early childhood.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you, Dandavat Pranam. All right. So here we see how there is a very great resemblance between the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna and the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Because Krishna and Nimai are non-different. Both are avataris. In fact, Nimai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more merciful than Lord Krishna also, right? Krishna says, "Ye tamam prapadyanti tam sativ bhajamyam." As you surrender, I will reward accordingly. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I mean, in these pastimes, we see how as baby Nimai, he's very, very naughty. He's also teasing, those, sadhus who are taking bath in the Ganges, he's troubling them also, right? And in this way, and he used to ask the girls to worship him, he being a Brahmana. And don't worship Shiva and Parvati and all, right? And that's what he also tells in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Yajanti hi avidi purvakam. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, don't worship the demigods. Because that's not the right way of worship. Because if you worship the demigods, that is avidhi purvakam. Because in any case, whatever is offered, I only offer it. I only give it to you, right? Only by my sanction, even the demigods are able to offer anything, isn't it? So in that way, we see a lot of resemblance or a lot of similarity in the pastimes between baby Nimai and Lord Sri Krishna. So now we will go ahead, and the next couple of pastimes would be when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes 16 years old. Right, he becomes a very, very great Sanskrit scholar. So I used to actually, everyone used to be fearful of Nimai Pandit because he was a Pandit. He would call and then he would nicely argue, and then he would defeat the other person. When the person is defeated, then he will say, "No, no, 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 you were correct only. And then he would defeat the same argument which he defeated earlier, and everybody would get so bewildered, and everybody would run away from Nimai Pandit. And Advaita Acharya and all of them would be waiting. This is not for what we had actually asked the Lord to come down. Right. So they also used to not much interact with the Lord during these pastimes where Nimai Pandit is a scholar, he's defeating all the scholars, right, and all that, right. But from the time Nimai Pandit actually takes initiation from Ishwara Puri, then what happens? He starts propagating Yuga Dharma for the stage of Kali, for which Advaita Acharya actually worshipped the Shaligram Shila with Ganges and Tulasi, and actually invited the Lord. Oh Lord, in this age of Kali, nobody can propagate your holy name. You only have to come down personally. So that is why Krishna, who's not different from the Shaligram Shila, who's not different from Jagannath, who's not different from Gauranga Mahaprabhu himself, appeared in the golden complexion in the mode of Srimati Radharani to propagate Yuga Dharma of this age of Kali, which is Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Eva Kevalam. Kalo nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva gatir anyata. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way to attain success in this Kali Yuga except with the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in that way, let's see what are the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How does it look from 16 years old when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually now a Nimai Pandit, a great Sanskrit scholar. Okay, who else is reading now? Okay, Shubhangi Keshvi Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Rohini Mataji can read. Yes, go ahead, Mataji.
In this way, the Lord passed his early childhood. When he was just 16 years old, he started his own Chatushpati village school conducted by a learned Brahmin. In this school, he would simply explain Krishna even in readings of grammar. Srila Jiva Goswami, in order to please the Lord, later composed a grammar in Sanskrit, in which all the rules of grammar were explained with examples that use the holy name of the Lord. His grammar is still current. It is known as Hari Namamrit Vyakaran and is prescribed in the syllabus of school in Bengal. During this time, a great Kashmir scholar named Keshav Kashmiri came to Navadvip to hold discussion on the Shastras. The Kashmiri Pandit was a champion scholar and he had traveled to all places of learning in India. Finally, he came to Navadvip to contest the learned Pandits there. The Pandit of Navadvip decided to match Nimai Pandit, Lord Chaitanya, with the Kashmiri Pandit, thinking that if Nimai Pandit were defeated, they would have another chance to debate with the scholar. For Nimai Pandit was only a boy, and if the Kashmir Pandit were defeated, then they would even be more glorified because people would proclaim that a mere boy of Navadvip had defeated a champion scholar who was famous throughout India. It so happened that Nimai Pandit met Keshav Kashmiri while strolling on the banks of Ganges. The Lord requested him to compose a Sanskrit verse in face of the Ganges, and the Pandit, within a short time, composed 100 shlokas, reciting the verses like a storm and showing the strength of his vast learning. Nimai Pandit at once memorized all the shlokas without an error. He quoted the 64th shloka and pointed out certain rhetorical and literary irregularities. He particularly questioned the Pandit's use of the words bhavani bharatuhu. He pointed out that the use of this word was redundant. Bhavani means the wife of Shiva, and who else can be her bharta or husband? He also pointed out several other discrepancies, and the Kashmiri Pandit was struck with wonder. He was astonished that a mere student of grammar could point out the literal mistake of an erudite scholar. Although this matter was ended prior to any public meeting, the news spread like wildfire all over Navadvip. But finally, Keshav Kashmiri was ordered in a dream by Saraswati, the goddess of learning, to submit to the Lord, and thus the Kashmir Pandit became a follower of the Lord. The Lord was then married with great pomp and gaiety, and at this time he began to preach the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord at Navadvip. Some of the Brahmins became envious of his popularity, and they put them hindrance on his path. They were so jealous that they finally took the matter before the Muslim magistrate at Navadvip. Bengal was then governed by Pathans, and the governor of the province was Nawab Hussain Shah. The Muslim magistrate of Navadvip took up the complaints of the Brahmins seriously, and at first he warned the followers of Nimai Pandit not to chant loudly the name of Hari. But Lord Chaitanya asked his followers to disobey the orders of the Qazi, and they went on with their Sankirtan chanting party as usual. The magistrate then sent constable who interrupted a Sankirtan and broke some of the mridangas drums. When Nimai Pandit heard of this incident, he organized a party for civil obedience. He is the pioneer of the disobedience movement in India for the right cause. He organized a procession of 100,000 men with thousands of mridangas and kartals and scrambles, and this procession passed over the roads of Navadvip in defense of the Qazi who had issued the order. Finally, the procession reached the house of the Qazi, who went upstairs out of fear of the masses. The great crowd assembled at the Qazi's house displayed a violent temper, but the Lord asked them to be peaceful. At this time, the Qazi came down and tried to pacify the Lord by addressing him as nephew. He pointed out that he referred to Nimbaraka Chakravarti as uncle, and thus Srimati Sachidevi, Nimai Pandit's mother, was his cousin sister. He asked the Lord whether his sister's son could be angry at his maternal uncle, and the Lord replied that since the Qazi was his maternal uncle, he should receive his nephew well at his house. In this way, the issue was mitigated, and the two learned scholars began to long discussion on the Korean and Hindu Shastras. The Lord raised the question of cow killing, and the Qazi properly answered him by referring to the Korean. In turn, the Qazi also questioned the Lord about cow sacrifice in the Vedas, and the Lord replied that such sacrifice as mentioned in the Vedas is not actually cow killing. In that sacrifice, an old bull or cow was sacrificed for the sake of receiving a fresh, younger life by the power of Vedic mantras. But in the Kali Yuga, such cow sacrifices are forbidden because these are no qualified Brahmanas capable of conducting such a sacrifice. In fact, in Kali Yuga, all yagnas sacrifice are forbidden because they are useless attempts by foolish men. In Kali Yuga, only the Sankirtan Yagna is recommended for all particular purpose. Speaking in this way, the Lord finally convinced the Qazi, who became the Lord's follower. The Qazi henceforth declared that no one should hinder the Sankirtan movement which was started by the Lord. And the Qazi left this order in his will for the sake of progeny. The Qazi's tomb still exists in the area of Navadvip. The Hindu pilgrimage go there to show their respect. The Qazi's descendants are residents and they never objected to Sankirtan, even during the Hindu-Muslim riots day. This
Hare Krishna.
incident
Thank you,
shows
Mataji. Gaur.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat.
Thank you, Mataji. So these are the very wonderful pastimes of Nimai Pandit, right? When the time he was a scholar, he defeated Keshav Kashmiri, and then how did he defeat him? Very, very wonderful. Bhavani Bartu. Bhavani itself means wife of Lord Shiva. When you're saying the husband of the wife of Lord Shiva, that means it seems like Parvati Devi has two husbands, right? Wife of Shiva, whose husband is so and so, like that. So Nimai Pandit could, immediately memorize all the 100 verses because Mata Smriti Jnanam Apohanam cha Vedescha Sarve Rahameva Vedyo Vedanta Krit Vedavid Eva Chaham. The Lord's words are only the Vedic scriptures. So the Lord could easily memorize the verses spoken by Keshav Kashmiri, and he could very easily defeat Keshav Kashmiri by pointing out the mistakes, right? And he also surrendered. Keshav Kashmiri actually had got a boon from Saraswati Devi that no one can defeat him in grammar and poetry, right? Then Keshav Kashmir actually goes to Mother Saraswati and tells her, your boon has gone wrong. There was a small boy who actually defeated me. This is not done. How could your words be proven wrong by a small boy? And then Saraswati Devi tells Keshav Kashmiri that this boy is my Lord also. I cannot do anything against my Lord. So in this way, Keshav Kashmiri also surrendered to Nimai Pandit and became his follower, like that. And then there's so many other pastimes also where there is this very beautiful Kola Bhanga Danga. That means the Qazi, the Qazi who was the governor of, the Navadvipa. So his name was Nawab Hussain Shah. So he actually heard from the Brahmanas of Navadvip saying that, this Nimai Pandit is always taking some procession where everybody is singing and dancing. It becomes very much disturbing for us. So in this way, the Brahmanas themselves go and complain to Nawab Hussain Shah. And Nawab Hussain Shah actually sent some of the soldiers to come and break the drum. So even today, this place is there in Navadvip Dham, right? Kola Banga Dhanga. That means the place where the Mridanga was broken. And the first civil disobedience movement was actually initiated by our Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? What is the civil disobedience movement? A big procession was being called out by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where all the devotees went with Mridanga and Kartal, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and they went to Chand Kazi's home. So in that way, later on, I know in the detailed past tense, it is also mentioned that Chand Kazi was already, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to his home, he did not come down the first time. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and came back for the second time. At that time, what happened? Chand Kazi got a dream, right? Where Narsinghadev actually came in his dream and told that if at all you or your descendants are going to stop the Harinama Sankirtan, then I will tear apart your chest. Like that, some nail marks are also there in Chand Kazi's body. And Chand Kazi, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, Chand Kazi actually told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that I want to speak to you something in private, right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, there's nothing private. All of these people are my followers. Whatever you want to say, you tell in front of them. Right? So in that way, Chand Kazi actually tells that in my dream, there was one half man, half lion form that was so ferocious came. And see, in my heart also there is a mark, right? And he told me that I'm just leaving you with this right now. But if you go and disturb the Sankirtana movement, any of your descendants also do that, then the results will not be good, right? So in that way, Chand Kazi already got converted. So when he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was very much in good terms with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, telling that I know Nilambar Chakravarti, right? So you are related to me. So in this way, he spoke in a very nice way to Nimai Pandit. So like that, so many pastimes were there where everybody, whomever the Lord met, the Lord converted them into devotees, either by the stick or they say carrot and stick method, either in a positive way or by showing them the danda. So like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted everyone into devotees of Lord Sri Krishna and taking part in the Sankirtana movement. So that is the Sankirtana movement is the yajna for this age of Kali, right? So in this age of Kali, there are no purified articles like ghee, etc. to offer any kind of yajna. And even if there are some yajnas that are performed, the most essential aspect of all the yajnas is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There cannot be any yajna that is done where there is no Harinam Sankirtan that is going on. Because Harinam Sankirtan is the yajna for this age of Kali, right? So no yajna can be complete without the Harinam Sankirtan. And Harinam Sankirtan in itself is the Yoga Dharma for this age of Kali, right? What is that? Yajna Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Su Metasaha. The most intelligent people will actually take up this process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, and they will perform this Sankirtana Yajna for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga and attain perfection of life in this age of Kali, like that. Okay, let's continue reading. This incident shows clearly. Okay, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead, and then Rohini Mataji can read, and then we'll end. Yes, go ahead, Mataji.
Hi, Pranams Mataji, Haribol, Srila Prabhupada Pujay. This incident shows clearly that the Lord was not a so-called timid Vaishnava. The Vaishnava is a fearless devotee of the Lord, and for the right cause, he can take any step suitable for the purpose. Arjuna was also a Vaishnava devotee of Lord Krishna, and he fought valiantly for the satisfaction of the Lord. Similarly, Brajarangaji or Hanuman was also a devotee of Lord Rama, and he gave lessons to the non-devotee party of Ravana. The principles of Vaishnavism are to satisfy the Lord by all means. A Vaishnava is by nature a non-violent, peaceful living being, and he has all the good qualities of God. But when the non-devotee blasphemes the Lord or his devotee, the Vaishnava never tolerates such impudency. After this incident, the Lord began to preach and propagate his Bhagavata Dharma or Sankirtana movement more vigorously, and whoever stood against this propagation of the Yuga Dharma or duty of the age was properly punished by various steps of chastisement. Two Brahmana gentlemen named Chapala and Gopala who also happened to be the maternal uncles of the Lord, were inflicted with leprosy by way of chastisement, and later, when they were repentant, they were accepted by the Lord. In the course of his preaching work, he used to send daily all his followers, including Srila Nityananda Prabhu and Thakura Haridasa, to chief whips of his party from door to door to preach the Srimad Bhagavatam. All of Navadvipa was surcharged with the Sankirtana movement, and his headquarters were situated at the house of Srivasa Thakura and Sri Advaita Prabhu, two of his chief household disciples. These two learned head of the Brahmana community were the most ardent supporters of Lord Chaitanya's movement. Sri Advaita Prabhu was the chief cause for the advent of the Lord. When Advaita Prabhu saw that the total human society was full of materialistic activities and devoid of devotional service, which alone could save mankind from the threefold miseries of material existence, he, out of his causeless compassion for the age-old human society, prayed fervently for the incarnation of the Lord and continually worshipped the Lord with water of the Ganges and leaves of the holy Tulasi tree. As far as the preaching work in the Sankirtana movement was concerned, everyone was expected to do his daily share according to the order of the Lord. Once Nityananda Prabhu and Srila Haridasa Thakura were walking down a main road, and on the way they saw a roaring crowd assembled. Upon inquiring from passers-by, they understood that two brothers named Jagai and Madai were creating a public disturbance in a drunken state. They also heard that these two brothers were born in a respectable Brahmana family, but because of low association, they had turned into debauchees of the worst type. They were not only drunkards, but also meat eaters, women hunters, dacoits, and sinners of all description. Shri Nityananda Prabhu heard all of these stories and decided that these two fallen souls must be the first to be delivered. If they were delivered from their sinful life, then the good name of Lord Chaitanya would be even still more glorified. Thinking in this way, Nityananda Prabhu and Haridasa pushed their way through the crowd and asked the two brothers to chant the holy name of Lord Hari. The drunken brothers became enraged upon this request and attacked Nityananda Prabhu with filthy language. Both brothers chased them a considerable distance. In the evening, the report of the preaching work was submitted to the Lord, and he was glad to learn that Nityananda and Haridasa had attempted to deliver such a stupid pair of fellows. The
Hare
next day,
Krishna. Thank you,
Nityananda
Mataji. So this is the well-known pastime. We know how Jaga and Madai were the lowest, right? Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatara Masama Patita Prabhu Na Paibe Ara. Narottam Thakur sings in this beautiful song, Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar. In this avatar is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is delivering the most fallen people of the foremost. Generally, people in Kali Yuga themselves are most fallen. But the most fallen of the most fallen people, right? The most fallen of all the fallen people of this age of Kali, they are actually delivered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy when he heard that these two drunkards, Jaga and Madai, were approached by Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. Okay, just devotees, 1 second. This charge is going off. Let me check this 1 second. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ram Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Once again, devotees. Hare Krishna. Devotee, there's some issue. My this laptop is not getting charged. I believe there's an issue with the charger. So I believe we have about 12 minutes to go. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I need to check this. All right. Okay, so okay. Okay, fine. So we know how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so happy that Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur actually went to the most fallen of all the people in the age of Kali because they were drunkards. You know, they didn't even have a proper identity of who they were, what they were doing, etc. Such fallen people were chosen by our Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, and they were delivered. Right, the detailed past we will read it tomorrow on Tuesday. So this is what is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Dushe Namaha. So in this way, this prayer tells that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most magnanimous of all the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he himself is avatari, right? He's as good as Krishna himself, who is avatari, and more so, he is more merciful than even Lord Krishna himself. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Granth-raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All right, so I will request Nisha Mataji, are you ready? We will request one devotee to read, recite the verse 1.1.1. Who will recite? Karpagauli Mataji want to recite? Who wants to recite the verse 1.1.1? Yes, Nisha Mataji, yes. Go ahead, please switch on your camera. We want to see your Divya Darshan also as you're reciting the verse. So Nisha Mataji is inaugurating our verses chanting session. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead. Mataji, you need to unmute yourself. 1 minute. Yes, please unmute yourself, Mataji. Okay, there's something wrong with my system and as well as everything. Okay, I cannot hear you. Very faint voice. You have to be a little loud, Mataji.
सभी को दंडवत प्रणाम.
Hare bol, Dandat Pranam. Yes, Mataji, go ahead. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1. Yes.
1.1. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरताश्चर्तेषु विज्ञासुराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादि कवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकोकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः. चारों श्लोक याद है? फर्स्ट चारों याद है?
ट्रांसलेशन बताना चाहेंगे? हिंदी में बता सकते हैं आप?
हिंदी में मुझे याद नहीं, पढ़ के बता सकते हो?
हाँ, हिंदी में ठीक है. Tell the meaning of this verse. We like to congratulate Nisha Mataji for inaugurating our verses session by chanting the first verse, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1. Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So let's 1.1.1 in a nutshell. It means offering obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Abhijna and Swarat. That means one is cognizant of everything and one who is Swarat, independent of everything. Tejo vari mritam yatha vinamayo yatra sargo mrisha. That means he is a person who is actually putting into illusion. Muyanti yat suraya. That means he's putting into illusion all the devatas, all the people of this world. Everybody is put into illusion by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when the Lord puts someone into illusion, nobody can understand anything. Arjuna was put into illusion, and to satisfy the purposes of the Lord, the devotees are willing to go under illusion simply to please the Supreme Personality of God. And yet that Lord, who's maintaining, who's in charge of creation, maintenance, and destruction, is eternally situated in his own dham. Dhamna svena sada nirashtakuhakam. He is always present in his dham, and he is the supreme absolute truth. I meditate upon that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. All right. So now let's move on to the verse number 2 today. And at the end of this, I will request one volunteer. Not tomorrow, next Monday. 1.1.2 will have to be recited. So let's quickly go 1.1.2. Okay. I hope devotees are able to see my screen. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात्. Right? Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo. Right? In Bhagavad Gita 18.65, Krishna tells Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. So here he is saying dharma projita kaitavotra paramo. So what is the dharma that you have to reject? We have to reject the dharma of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That means performing duties for fruitive activities, artha to gain wealth, kama to fulfill our material desires, and even moksha to attain liberation. We should not perform our activities for these 4 reasons. That is kaitava dharma. That is called cheating religion. That is a dharma we need to give up. That Krishna is saying in 18.65. Right? What is that? Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. So we have to give up all the kaitava dharma of dharma, artha, kama, moksha, and then we have to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is what is given here. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmat saranam satam. Right? Somebody who rejects all the kaitava dharma, all the cheating religion, all the religions that result in material prosperity, one should give up all that. And then what happens? One's heart will become nirmat saranam. Nirmat saranam means one's heart will become 100% pure. Vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam. Tapa means the miseries of this material world. Then what happens? One is able to transcend the 3 modes of material nature. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrite Kimva Parairishwaraha. Srimad Bhagavatam has been given by Veda Vyasji himself. Mahamuni is called Mahamuni Vyasadev. He is a literary incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Kimva Parairishwaraha. There is no need to study any other scripture. Simply Srimad Bhagavatam is enough to help us attain Krishna Prema. Satyo hridya varudyate kritibihi shushrushuvis takshanat. So what are we supposed to do? Shushrushuvis. That means we have to hear the Bhagavatam from a bona fide spiritual master and with faith. Right? Sadyo hridya avarudyate. Then the transcendental knowledge of Bhagavatam will be received in our hearts. What are we supposed to do? Shushrushuvis. Right? That means immediately, takshanat, immediately the transcendental knowledge will be revealed in our heart. But what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to hear this Bhagavatam. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrite Kim va parairishwaraha Sadyo hridya varudyate trakritibihi shushrushuvis takshanat. All right. So this is the verse for today. Next Monday, anybody who would want to please lower your hands if you want to read and everything. Okay, lower your hands if you want to read and everything, and switch on your cameras if you want to recite the verse. Who wants to? Okay. Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji, you want to recite the verse next Monday? Okay. So Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji will do. So we want 2 important requirements. One is we want the devotees to switch on your camera. 2, and then raise your hand. So next Monday, please ensure Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji, she attends all the sessions. Right? But especially if you have raised your hands next week, please do attend. Join on time. All right. So Anusha Mataji, next verse 1.1.3 we'll reserve for you. Okay? Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam. Okay. So Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji, next week, Monday. Tomorrow we will meet for our Srimad Bhagavatam session. We will continue with introduction. It's a long introduction, the entire pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So slowly we will continue with the introduction, and then we'll ask the devotees to recite. Tomorrow we will revise 1.1.2, and next Monday Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji will recite, and then we'll go on with 1.1.3, and then Anusha Mataji will do it 1.1.3. Like that, I want all the devotees to raise your hands one by one. Right? Karpavalli Mataji 1.1. Whatever is the next sloka, I don't know which is the next sloka. So next week, Karpavalli Mataji. All right. So Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Vancha kalpatarobhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavinebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nandagori Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Okay, so 3 minutes charge is there. We'll chant. We'll do Harinam Sankirtan. If the session gets ended, it gets ended. Otherwise, we'll end it. Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गौर निताय जय जय जगन्नाथ जय जय बालदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जय सुदर्शन जय बाल गोपाल जय राधा गिरिधारी जय राधा रास बिहारी जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा माधव राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे जय राधा गिरिधारी राधा गोपीनाथ राधा मदन मोहन श्री राधे जय राधे राधे जय राधे 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 जय श्री राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल शिल प्रभुपाद श्री गुरुदेव की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णवा वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. So Hare Krishna, devotees, tomorrow we will not have our study session because tomorrow is Prabhupada Tirobhavtidi. So request all the devotees to go to the nearest ISKCON temple, take part in the festivities. Very, very important day in the life of an ISKCON devotee. Srila Prabhupada's Tirobhavtidi. So please go to any nearby ISKCON temple and take part in the festivities. So tomorrow we will meet for Brahmamurta chanting at 5 o'clock and then we will proceed to ISKCON temple to do services there for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. And Wednesday we'll continue with our Krishna book study. Next Monday we will have Sarva Gopi Shri Mataji chant 1.1.1 and then we will continue with introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद श्री गुरुदेव की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.